Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. This is Mr. Shakespeare here again with you on the 14th of November 2022. I'm here with remote viewer and psychic medium Liz Cross. How are we doing today, Liz?
I'm up bright and early. It's very cold and I'm wrapped in a blanket. Other than that, I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, this is a morning special that you're doing, or we're doing. It's my lunchtime. I'm okay. So this is a follow-up on one that we did literally the other day. And obviously since then, quite a lot has happened to the exchange known as FTX, led by Sam Bankman-Fried. Or Fried. I'm going to call him Fried.
Well, it's Fried now, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Right. So just a couple of things. In the video that we did the other day, going to call a couple of hits because one of the questions that you asked FTX was, were they insolvent? And you said yes, they were, or it came back that yes, they were. How long have they been insolvent? A long time, you said. Another hit, they have. And what kind of liquidity ratios did they have? And you said under 10%, under 10%. Again, that will prove to be yet another hit. So all of that was very good. Well done, Liz.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm only as good as the person questioning me. All right. So it's your hit too. Where are we going with this today? This is exciting. There's so many places to go with this. I'm just ready to go.
Okay. All right. So have you got, can you connect with FTX, please?
Yeah, I've got them.
Okay. So it's been reported that FTX has, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy across all of its platforms. Is that correct?
Have you filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy across all of your platforms? Ooh. Okay, I got multiple people answering here. I'm going to ask them to consolidate. They're in a frenzy. And I feel the first thing that's come through are the people associated with Bankman-Fried are on the run. That's the first thing that's come through. Not all of them, but some of them. Have you filed for Chapter 11? We filed a motion to file for Chapter 11.
So, okay. So does that mean the exchange is still trading?
Does that mean the exchange is still trading? No, all trading has stopped.
Okay. All right. Where has Sam Bankman-Fried gone to?
Where is Sam Bankman-Fried? Where is he? He's gone.
Yeah, we know he's gone. Where's he gone?
Where is he gone? They actually don't know. Okay. He hasn't said a word. He left. He walked out. He left. Did he pack it? He's packed his bags and he's gone. So they don't know.
Do they believe he's on the run?
Do you believe he's on the run? No, he's gone somewhere. So, you know, for us, we think that he's on the run, but that question, you know, they think, well, no, he's not running. He's somewhere, if you see what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Right. But I mean, do they expect to, you know, still keep their jobs, or are they all on notice to quit? I mean, what's happening? I mean,
no, they're not keeping their jobs. They have a lot of money.
Right.
It doesn't really matter one way or the other. The core group in the Bahamas, and that was another hit, by the way, because I think you said they were in the US, and I said, no, I don't feel like they're in the US, and it turns out they were in the Bahamas. I didn't know that. But yeah, are you still? They're still in the Bahamas, some of them. I feel like there's about 4, maybe 5 left. The other ones have fled. They've gone.
So the FTS token was used as collateral to borrow billions of real dollars. and they use those dollars to buy out sort of dying crypto companies. Can they confirm that?
Okay, let's break it down into two separate questions. What's the first question, please?
The FTX token, the token of this exchange, was which they issued. Okay. They used it as collateral to borrow billions of dollars. Is that true?
As collateral to borrow billions of dollars. Is that correct? Yes. They're saying millions, not billions.
Okay. Million. Yeah, possible. Okay. Many millions, though.
Yes.
And did they use those dollars to buy, failing and dying crypto companies like Voyager and people and things like that? Did they do that?
Sir, did you use those dollars to buy failing crypto companies? No. They used profits and customer investment money to buy those crypto companies. What their main goal was to become the biggest crypto exchange in the world, to beat Binance, to completely take over as the main exchange.
Okay. But when people buy, or what they think were buying Bitcoin from them, did they actually have Bitcoin, or was it an IOU, essentially an IOU?
When people were actually buying Bitcoin and crypto from you, were you buying it? No, they weren't buying it. It was just showing up as if it was bought, but they weren't actually buying it. It was just, excuse me, on the exchange, it looks like, well, you bought $100 a Bitcoin, but they never actually bought it in most cases.
Right.
That's not good.
No, that's the very definition of a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
So what did they do then with the money that they took as when they sold these tokens and they took real dollars, if you like? What did they do with those dollars?
What did you do with those dollars? Spent it. They spent a large portion of that money. Like, they were practically giving it away.
Right.
They were buying themselves a lot of crypto. Actually, Bankman-Fried would buy loads of cryptos for them, like bonuses on the FTX exchange. No, not on the FTX exchange. So they would use other exchanges to buy real crypto. I feel like Binance was their main exchange that they used.
Right. Okay. Well, so with the money that they spent, how much did they give to the Democrat Party? Was it more or less than 50 million?
Money spent, how much did you give to the Democrat Party? Was it more than 50 million? I'm getting about 40 million.
Okay.
That's still a lot of money.
Yeah. So where else did this money go? There's a lot of money on Super Bowl commercials, I believe, like about 20 odd million. Is that right?
Yes. How much did you spend on the Super Bowl? 30 million on Super Bowl, roughly. Okay. This is all in an effort to be the world's biggest crypto exchange, right? This is what they wanted. They wanted everybody to come to crypto. They wanted to be the big high flyers that transform the US dollar into digital currency. But the problem is they kept thinking, well, we're just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and more investment and more investment. But the big problem is, they gone so far with the customer's money that they could never, ever recoup that. They knew that this was a ticking time bomb. And they would tell Bankman-Fried, okay, but he wouldn't listen. He would just say, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're still in business. You're still a millionaire. Don't worry.
Okay. But, all right. Where else can we go with this? Well, the biggest problem that most people will have was they believed they had coins on the exchange, and these people are saying they didn't have them. I mean, that in itself is an out-and-out Ponzi scheme. They're taking real dollars and then spending them. Why did they donate so much money to the Democrat Party?
Ooh, that's a good question. Why did you donate so much money to the Democratic Party? Because they believed in us. So here you go. Okay, I'll scratch your back if you scratch mine. They believed that the Democrats would actually back them as the USA #1 crypto exchange approved by the government.
Right. Okay. I mean, a lot of that money helped fund the Democrat Party all the way through these midterm elections. So some people are alleging that, you know, they basically that's what they were doing. They were bankrolling the Democratic Party with this money.
Do you believe that you were bankrolling the Democratic Party with this money? No, they said it takes a lot more money to bankroll the Democratic Party. Now, as I'm questioning FTX, please be advised that Sam Bankman-Fried is not in that collective. We're going to probe him separately. These are just the people that worked with him. No, they believe it takes like 200, 300, 400 million to bankroll the Democratic Party.
Right.
Now, but what is interesting is the fact that they were expecting favors from the Democratic Party. They were going to be the official exchange that the US government has approved. They were going to work on legislation on getting a, national digital currency. That's what they wanted. And Bankman-Fried, they're telling me, thought when that happened, they would be trillionaires. Okay. And then they would be able to back liquidity, all the subscribers or the investors to the exchange, they would back them with liquidity. He knew he was taking a huge gamble. He knew the risk he was taking.
How did FTX start up? Because it's sort of, it came from nowhere to being one of the biggest, not the biggest, but one of the biggest, very, very quickly. How did that happen? How did it start?
Well, it started with an idea. Bankman-Fried had the idea. He was looking for a couple of computer nerds to put it together. Building an exchange is actually very easy. It's having people invest in that exchange, knowing that that exchange is out there. That's the most difficult part, because their biggest competitor, what they're telling me, is Binance. And they wanted to really, really push forward and be better than Binance. How did you get big so quickly? Through advertising. Through advertising. They did have private investors that helped to build and maintain the exchange. It doesn't take a lot of employees to keep it running once it's up and running. The private investors for the initial startup money, most of them got paid back, and they got paid back in Bitcoin as well. So he did make good on paying those people back. But the reason they became so big was advertising. They advertise everywhere.
Okay.
That's all it took.
Have they sent any money to Ukraine?
Have you sent any money to the Ukraine? No, they're telling me not that we're aware of. So again, this is the collective minus Bankman-Fried.
Okay. And what about their research company, Almeida Research? Did they send any money there?
They don't know that. Almeida is very separate to what these people know. This is a very hush-hush thing. Who was in charge of Almeida?
Well, it was I said this the other day, actually. We were trying to find. Yeah.
Was it the girlfriend or the ex-girlfriend?
It was an ex-girlfriend and a guy who was a professional Scrabble player or something. Or I don't know.
Yeah.
Like
Can you bring her picture up on the screen for me, please? When I probed Bankman-Fried a long time ago, I always said, and I never heard any interview, like I don't watch, videos, and I just don't have time for all that. I wish I did, but I don't. And I said, man, there's something wrong with this kid. Do you remember that video? It was probably lost in the ether now. I am trying to recover all those videos, but excuse me. It was, I said, there's something wrong with this kid, right? It's like he's autistic or there's something different about him. His brain is wired completely differently, almost as if his perception of reality is not as accurate as somebody with like a normally, a normal wired brain. And then I saw a video briefly, like a 2-minute video of him explaining a charity on YouTube just to get a feel for his voice and his personality. And I was like, yeah, there is something wrong with him. Not that that's a good thing or a bad thing, but that was the first thing I picked up on him before many months ago when I was probing him. And the other thing is, somebody reminded me yesterday when I was doing a reading, Liz, this is going exactly how you said it was back in the early part of the year. You said you couldn't figure out what was going on, but there's definitely something going to happen with these exchanges. The exchanges were going down. They were not going to be able to function anymore. They were going to freeze up. I can't remember exactly what I said, but if you remember correctly, Mr. Shakespeare, I did say this is where this massive disruption in crypto happens. And I believe it's going to keep happening. I really do. So Get all of your coins off of the exchanges, people. Get them off the exchanges. I don't care if it's Binance. I don't care which exchange it is. None of these exchanges have 100% liquidity.
No, that's true.
We did a video on that. Do you remember a few months ago, you did this really amazing video because you know this stuff so well. You did this fantastic video where, we were asking about the liquidity of the exchanges. And we said that there was less than a 25% liquidity for a lot of these exchanges. So that was a hit too. If that video is not made public on YouTube, just remember, guys, for those of you listening who are not Patreon subscribers, the Patreon subscribers get a lot more crypto information and investment information than you guys get on public. We just released some videos that are public. The hardcore prediction videos like this, similar to these lines, going along these lines rather, that is Patreon subscriber only. Yeah, here we go. What's this little girl's name?
I think this is, from what I can see, this is Caroline Ellison.
Caroline Ellison. Okay, I've got her.
Okay. So she is, she was the either the CEO or the joint CEO of Almeida Research. Almeida Research.
Mm-hmm.
People are saying that this is where the side money went. So If so, she's right. Let's ask her. Where? Okay.
She's
Have you got
scared.
her?
Yeah,
You should be
she's
scared.
scared.
She should be scared. She's way over her head, I can tell you. Okay.
Yeah.
How much money did she receive? How much money did Almeida receive from FTX?
How much money did Almeida
Research.
Almeida Research receive? Billions.
$1 billion.
More than a bill. More a roundabout figure of 10.
10 billion.
Yes.
Jesus. And where did? Oh my God.
Okay, I want you to know that Bankman-Fried, this was his idea. He put her in charge of this. This was his idea, because as he started to realize the possibility that he could never cover everybody's investment money, he wanted to make sure he had the money somewhere else and access to it. This was his idea. This little girl here, she really didn't have much of a clue what was going on.
Okay, but she's on the hook because she's the CEO, so.
Yes, but she thought it was going to be a charitable company. So she thought that this was his way. He wanted to separate the money for charity. And she was going to facilitate research. Okay. She was going to give out grant donation. Why is it called research? There you go. They were going to fund research grants for causes that they thought were appropriate. Okay, this is Bankman-Fried's idea. And he put her in charge of this alleged charity. She had no idea of the scale of what was going on.
Okay, but there's more money seems to have gone through Almeida than has gone through almost through FTX. So where did the money go? The 10 billion that Almeida Research received, where did it go? Where's it gone?
That's a good question. Where did it go? The 10 billion research received. He's taken it.
He's taken it?
Yes.
All of it?
Not all of it, but a large proportion. He set up so here you go. Oh my God. The problem is the charities he wanted to donate to are his own. So he has set up loads and loads and loads of charitable organizations, and he's put that money over to these charitable organizations that, under different names, he's in charge of. He controls their bank accounts. So he has access to all of this money. He's a billionaire. He has access to all of this.
Right, but I mean, on the outside, this just looks like a money laundering operation. You know, he's taking money out of FTX and laundering it and pushing it through Almeida Research. You know, he's got a patsy. I mean, sorry, she's a patsy in there, knowing all. Okay, so
she had no idea. Look, she absolutely adores Bankman-Fried. Okay, absolutely adores him. Everything he says is at gold, right? His words that pour out of his mouth, according to her, are dripped in gold. He's a very difficult person to get along with. He didn't treat her nicely at all. He treated her very badly. He's a chronic cheater. And she just couldn't take it anymore. And he felt very bad. But he knows how vulnerable she is and how she will do anything for him. And so in his mind, it was, I feel so bad about what I did to you. I hurt you. I want you, I want to set you up for life. We were in this together. And she thought, well, I anticipate that we'll get back together. He knew exactly what he was doing.
Would she lie on oath for him?
No, she would not lie for him now. No, because she realizes that he used her.
Okay. I mean, the optics on this look really bad. So, they spent a lot of money on advertising. They took money in. People thought they were buying cryptos when they weren't, but they put money in. They took a lot of dollars in. It's like a money harvesting operation, and they put lots of money out to the Democratic Party and other things like that to buy themselves political cover, potentially. That's what it will be alleged.
Yeah.
And now 10 billion, which is a lot of money, has gone through this company, basically run by a girl who, and according to this, she spent a few months as a junior trader or something. I mean,
yeah, he totally manipulated her.
Right. But I can't imagine. At the end of the day, he might. I mean, she is complicit in this, in my opinion. I'm sorry, but she, if she realized where this money was going, don't forget, the plug was not pulled by them. This was done by the outside. Let's ask her that. How does she think this? Why did the plug get pulled on this on the day of the midterm elections?
Why did the plug get pulled on this on the day of midterm elections? They wanted to expose Bankman-Fried.
Who is they? Who are they?
The Republicans.
No, I don't think it was them. Okay.
Well, that's her. These are her own.
I understand.
Thoughts. Right.
All right. Let me ask another question then. Do they think that Binance had anything to do with this? Because bear in mind, their stated aim was to be bigger than Binance. So what do you think? Do you think Binance had anything to do with this?
Yes, they had a hand in it. She believes that Binance backs the Republican Party.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I can only give you, it's like somebody didn't like our chemtrails probe or something the other day.
Yeah,
I can only give you what Spirit are giving me,
So it's funny because people say that Binance is backed by the Chinese Communist Party, and now they're in league with the Republican Party. Really?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Money's a dirty business. You know that.
Yeah.
So Binance allegedly is funding the Republican Party. Oh God.
Okay, I have not heard. That is her speculation.
That is her speculation. Yeah.
I have not heard. That's a new one on me. So I okay.
Right, but if we probe the Chinese Communist Party, who do you most side with, Democrats or Republicans? And they choose Republicans.
Right.
Because this idea of nationalism, this idea of, sovereignty, that is a Republican idea.
Yeah.
Okay. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
The Democrat is more globalist. Now, if you think about Bankman-Fried and what he was trying to do, which is to be the world's #1 crypto exchange, of course, he's going to fund the one world, agenda. And I'm not saying either way, Democrats are right, Republicans are right. We all know they're all corrupt, right? You don't need to be psychic to know that all politicians are corrupt, or at least most of them. But that makes perfect sense. So if Binance is funding the Republican Party, which I feel, I don't know, they may, I'm not sure. We should do another probe on that. But this Bankman-Fried fella, he used her, he manipulated her, he used her. She was just sitting there looking pretty behind the desk, waiting to hand out money to charity and get on with her charitable work. Okay. she wasn't aware. Were you aware that these charities that he said, yeah, she was aware, but she's saying he set up these charities in order so he could control what, instead of relying upon a charity this is his explanation to her, right? Instead of relying upon a charity. So say you give, I don't know, say you give $1 million to the Red Cross, right? Well, the Red Cross is going to do what they want with that money. Okay. And a lot of it is sending out brochures, paying their people and doing all this. Now, his explanation to her was, if I'm in control of the charities and I'm funding my own charities, we can then dictate where that money goes and who it helps. And that's what she thought she was going to do. Little did she know, this was so he had access to all of this money because he knew that it was going to go down. He knew the ship was going to go down. He was just going to continue to take money from investors for as long as possible.
Okay.
I feel like he's on a private island somewhere.
Right. I mean, charitable foundations, charitable trusts and things have long been used for money laundering operations. I mean, it's, by the rich and that's what they do. It's,
Yeah. And he also owns property all over the world, by the way.
Right. Okay. Let's take her out 6 months, please.
Oh, God. I didn't want to do any predictions. I wanted to just keep it. Not really, because this is such a fast-moving situation, but we'll get an overview. How far out do you want to go?
Well, let's go 30th of March, shall we?
Okay, March 30th, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay.
How's she doing?
How are you doing? Terrible. Okay. She's having to answer to all of these questions. He has basically set her up as the fall guy.
And where is he now? Does she know?
You know where he is? Yes, he's in hiding.
Okay. What's happened to FTX?
It's just gone. It's done.
And what's happened to Almeida? What's happened to her company, Almeida Research?
The government has frozen all the funds. And now they're trying to follow the paper trail of where this money has been filtered out.
So the government are actually actively pursuing this, are they?
Yes. Okay. It's under investigation. And she's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
She's the fall guy.
Yeah, I know. I get that. But they'll come. Okay. Okay. We won't ask her anymore. Drop her. That's all right.
Let's talk to him.
Yeah, let's get him.
Let's get to the meat and potatoes.
Actually, just before we do that, drop her. Put FTX back up. Put FTX up at the end of March, please. 30th of March.
The 30th of March. March 30th. 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Okay. Now, can I just interject here and say, when we did the probe the other day, we got that Binance was possibly going to take over this platform. And then somebody says, well, no, you're wrong, Liz, because Binance has pulled out. It's too early to tell what's going to happen. It could be that Binance does try to salvage this. But also, you have to understand with these future self predictions, it's based upon where you are right there at that moment. Those decisions that are being made right then and there, when you're looking out, this is the effect of those decisions. Now, the information coming back in a future self reading, if you don't like that information, then it's down to you to change it. Similarly, if someone or Binance decides, hey, we're not touching this with a barge pole, then that information has changed. But right when we looked at that probe 6 months out, the overview, which was Binance was going to take it over. I still think Binance is going to try to take this. I really do.
Well, yes, it may well pick up the shell. So let's ask FTX, are they still in existence?
30th, March 30th, 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Are you still in existence? No, they're closed.
Have they been taken over, assets or everything, by the US government? Is the US government involved with them?
Lots of governments are involved. So wherever their platform was really operational, you've got the British government, you've got the US government. I feel like there's many governments involved here.
Does FTX know whether this is the start or the beginning of new crypto regulations?
Is this the start or beginning of the new crypto regulations? No, nothing has been done as of yet.
Okay. All right, let's drop them. Let's go for Bankman-Fried.
Mr. Bankman-Fried, you master manipulator and crook. Oh my God. I'm actually surprised by the answers we got from her. I really am.
Well, she's going to jail, in my opinion.
Well, I feel like the others from FTX they're on the run. He set these people up big time.
Yeah, but I'm sorry, but they knew they were getting millions. I mean, we said the other day in our probe, you know, and I questioned it. You know, we worked out they were earning X amount of, you know, back of the cigarette packet calculations, and they were earning X amount of £1 million a day. And you were saying that, you know, they were under because of their expenses. Well, where are all their expenses? Well, now we know they're sort of, you know, money was going out of FTX into Alameda, money was going to the Democrat Party, money was going on advertising, Super Bowl, all sorts of stuff. I mean, they were just doling it out because it's essentially to them free money, because they were just giving people IOUs. You think you buy $100 worth of crypto on the exchange, and you don't, you know?
No, you bought very little. So what I got from that is $100. You may get $2 of crypto on that exchange. So actual $2. But
right,
their
that's
system.
Right. So that's a 50-to-1 leverage.
Yeah. So the way their system was set up, though, it looks like you have what you put in. Now, what is interesting is we should go across the board and ask every single exchange in a separate video for subscribers only, of course, how much, if we put in $100, how much of that crypto do we actually owe? This could be the disruption that I have been seeing for 2 years. Yeah. You know, well, I kept saying.
Yeah, I agree. We did the exchanges a while back, and we got some of the liquidity ratios. But yeah, perhaps we should drill down in view of this on a separate video. Right. Mm-hmm. Okay. But for now, let's talk to this guy.
Oh gosh.
Right. How's he doing today?
He's very well. He's confident. He's cocky. He's arrogant.
Does he realize what he's done?
Do you realize what you've done? No, it hasn't sunk in.
Is he on the run from anybody?
Are you on the run? Yeah. He just said, yeah, no one will find me.
Does he still have access to his funds?
You still have access to your funds? No, his accounts have been frozen. He knew that. He anticipated that, which is why he filtered all this money into these charitable causes.
Does he have access to the charitable causes, bank accounts or funds or whatever they are?
Yes, and he's in the process of moving that money out. He has billions.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure he does. Okay. Why did he originally set FTX up?
Why did you? By the way, you sound far away from your mic.
Yep.
There you go. Thank you. By the way, why did you set FTX? Because he wanted to be a millionaire, and that was the only way he knew how to achieve it. He
Okay.
thinks people are stupid. He thinks that people are vulnerable. He thinks that they'll do anything to make money. And this was a perfect solution.
Okay, but when did he decide to go down the dark path of, essentially running a Ponzi scheme as an exchange?
From its inception.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Okay. So it was set up. Oh dear. Okay. How did he get his original investments in there? Well, I mean, how?
What do you mean?
Well, what persuaded people to invest in his new exchange?
What persuaded people to invest in your? His answer is funny, but very true, because people are greedy. Yeah. Everybody wants to be a billionaire.
Yeah.
And crypto is the only way to achieve that status for a lot of people that are not old money. Now, don't get me wrong. He doesn't come from a poor family.
No, he doesn't. No. Okay. So he set the exchange up to be wrong. Okay. He kept it going. Why did he think it failed in the end?
Why do you think it failed? Because Binance took him down.
Right, there you go. Okay. And why did they do it on the day of the midterm elections? Why not the day before, or a week before, or a week after? Why on that day?
Well, I feel like this is coming through from him. He now believes that a person working for him in the Bahamas, yes, in the Bahamas, is like a double crosser, is a plant from Binance.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, that's what he believes. That's his own personal thought, feeling, and opinions. He says, no, Liz, they are. And I'm saying, with male or female, it's a male. Chinese, no. American, okay. Somebody has double-crossed him and leaked all this information across. Binance kept an eye on what was going on. They looked to be like the perfect candidate. They wanted to come in and work for free. They knew the exchanges, how to do this inside and out. Okay, they showed up late to the party, and this is how this information got out.
Okay, but I mean, they got the information out. It was Bankman-Fried that, set this whole thing up as a Ponzi under his own words. So, I mean, all they've done is just expose the Ponzi, haven't they?
All they've done is just expose the Ponzi. Essentially, yes.
Okay. All right. What does he think will happen to FTX and Alameda?
What do you think will happen to FTX and Alameda? It will be under heavy investigation, which is why he's now moving all the money out of these charitable causes and putting it into, he has lots of assumed identities. He's been working on this for months, actually well over a year.
Okay.
He knew that this was inevitable.
Of course, all Ponzi schemes collapse in the end. Does he think that, we'll go down two paths here. First path, does he think that Binance, his arch enemy, will end up with the remnants of FTX? In other words, will they buy the shell or what's left or whatever? Does he not think that will happen?
What's left of it? Yes, he does. He thinks that this was their whole idea, to take me over and not make me the biggest crypto exchange in the world. Binance is dirty. He's saying Binance has the same liquidity issue that FTX does. Do you believe that they're back to 100%? No, probably less than 10% as well.
Does he think all exchanges are less than 10%?
You believe all exchanges are less than 10%? They're fools if they're not. That's his answer. But do you believe that they are less? Most of them, yes. Most of them are less than 10%.
That's interesting, because that That's different to what we got when we probed those exchanges a while back. But as I say, we will do that again. So maybe things are changing as the liquidity is. Okay, I want to ask him a couple of general crypto market questions.
Well,
Why does he?
Sorry, don't forget, these are his own personal thoughts, feelings, and opinions, right? This is just what he believes.
Yeah. What does he believe? Why does he believe the whole crypto market has been going down this last year and, basically flat?
Why do you believe it's been going down this last year? It's designed that way.
It's designed to fail.
Designed to fail. Yes.
Who designed it to fail?
Who designed it to fail? The government.
Which government?
Which government? He says all of them. They don't like it. They don't want it to succeed.
Does he think central banks have anything? Because they have most to lose because they like issuing the currency, don't they?
You think it's the central banks? Well, yeah, but those are heavily tied to government.
Right. Okay.
He says central banks are the government.
Right. Well, yeah, I suppose, yeah. Even though they're private, but yes, okay.
He's not stupid, is he?
Well, no, he's not stupid, but unfortunately, he's a crook, he's a criminal, and that he set this whole thing up as a money laundering, just a great big Ponzi scheme by his own volition. That's what he's done, and he's going to get away, or he thinks he's going to get away with a lot of this money. So let's ask him: does he think he's going to get away with all this money?
No, he thinks that they'll catch up with a lot of the money, but he's going to try and filter as much as he can into his own accounts. Listen, this kid has got passports. He's got different names. He's got property all over the world. He's got a fake identity. Have you shaved your head? No, but he has cut his hair short. Have you made any changes to your appearance? Yes, several changes to his appearance. He's on a massive diet. He says, I put on weight. I'm going to lose all that weight. So that's another change to his appearance. I feel like he's got property in Israel. I feel like he has property in England. I mean, he's got property. He can go anywhere. And he's got loads of identities. Have you left the Bahamas? Yes. Have you left the Bahamas right now? Are you in the Bahamas right now? No, he's not in the Bahamas. I feel like he's on a boat or he's on a private island somewhere.
Is he on his own?
Are you on your own? No.
How many people with you?
How many people are with you? 3 to 4. There's 4 of them.
Are they all in? Were they all part and involved in Almeida and or FTX?
Were they all involved or in part in FTX? 2 of them were. One of them is a girlfriend that he kept quiet, that nobody knows about.
Okay. Does he believe that the authorities, whichever these authorities are, will catch up with him?
You believe that the authorities will
catch up with him personally, not necessarily, not the money. I mean that,
Personally? Do you think the authorities will catch up with you personally? No, he doesn't. That's his own personal thought, feeling, and opinion.
Yeah, sure. Okay. What about the people he's left behind holding the bag?
What about the people that he's left behind holding the bag? One of them is a Binance person. So he's like, I don't care.
Yeah, okay. Well, what about the non-Binance person then?
He's like, oh, well, it's their fault. They're all greedy.
So the utter contempt that he holds his people in. Nice. Okay. Let's pop him out a few months, can we?
You just can't resist.
Of course I can't resist. Of course I can't resist.
Oh, God, please. I really didn't want to do prediction. There's so many moving parts to this.
Put lots of caveats in. This guy can change his mind in a nanosecond. But on the current timeline, out into, say,
Let's just only go to the end of December.
Oh, okay. I wanted to go to the end of March like we did the girl.
No, let's go to the end of December. Now, don't forget, this guy has a brain like Elon Musk, and Elon Musk's brain will trip you up because of the rate it moves, right? Elon Musk's brain is firing off like this all the time. Bang, bang, bang. This guy is wired up differently. So that brain wiring could trip me up. December 31st, 2023.
Do December 30th then if you're going to do the end of the year. Do December 30th.
Yeah, I was just about to say he's partying. December 30th. This guy does drugs. 2023, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. He does drugs. Actually, he likes to surround himself with especially girlfriends that are on drugs because it makes them easier to manipulate. Okay? He likes that. He likes to be able to manipulate. They have to want him for something. You see what I mean? Like if you're a drug addict and you're getting fed drugs, okay, and he's feeding you the drugs, he holds the power. He likes that. He likes to hold the power. He likes to have power over people. He likes to manipulate. He likes to hold all the cards, hold all the money.
Okay. So how's he doing today?
Great.
Okay. Anything happened to him?
No, not yet. They've taken a lot of the money. They're following the money trails.
Who's they?
The FBI, the CIA, MI5 and MI6, all the, big national investigation agencies.
Are the Ukrainian or Russian agencies on the case as well?
The Ukrainian or Russian agencies. No, let's ask him this. Did you give money to Zelensky and Ukraine? Yes, he did. He gave a lot of money anonymously, like it was not supposed to be public knowledge, but he gave several $1 million to Ukraine, Zelensky.
Okay. Does he know what's happened to FTX and Almeida? Does he know anything?
FTX and Almeida? He's like, it's bankrupt.
Right. Does he think he will be able to continually evade the CIA, the FBI, MI5, MI6, or whatever?
I think he'll be able to continually evade them. Yes. He's been planning this for a long time.
Okay.
Do you feel like a failure? Yes, he does feel like a failure.
He feels like a failure. Why?
Yeah. Because this isn't the right way to earn money.
Yeah, but he knew that from the beginning. Why didn't he set it up as a regular straight exchange? Why did he have to do? I mean, I get the thing about greed and everything. I understand that it's human nature, but why didn't he just build an organic, fully involved, fully functioning, non-criminal exchange?
Why didn't you just build an organic, non-functional, non-criminal exchange? Because it's doomed to fail. He doesn't think that any exchanges are perfect, are legitimate. He thinks now this is his own personal thought, feeling, and opinion, but let's get some insight here. He believes that they're all criminal enterprises. He says, if they're not taking money, they're fools. It's like a free, a free ticket to money, a free pass to use other people's money. And he says, this guy is really narcissistic because he's blaming the victims. He's like, they're so greedy. It's all their own fault.
Right. But I mean, any exchange that does an exchange is perfectly entitled to charge a fee. Binance, Kraken, Coinbase, they can all charge a fee on their exchanges. I mean, Wall Street, that's what they do on their exchanges. All the traders and you make your money off the trade. Sorry, the fees off the trades.
Yes, but you also have access through the back door to their money, right?
You do, yes. And of course, the level of liquidity versus the assets, in other words, the ratio is very important here. I understand that, but
But they're not regulated. Cryptos are not regulated. The exchanges are not regulated. Not once, he's telling me, was he investigated? Was he checked out? Was he audited? Not once. It's a free reign to steal people's money.
Okay, well, thanks to him, cryptos will now be heavily regulated.
Do you remember my prediction last year, which is this year, we would start to see the end of this year, we would start to see heavy regulation. We would start to see regulation forming and coming into play. I put that out last year.
You did, but I don't think it'll happen until this year because obviously it'll be the US that leads this and the Congress, obviously, midterms. The new Congress doesn't start till January 6th. So this will be done next year, I believe. I mean, we've just probed FTX out and Alameda out until the end of March and there was no regulations yet. So this will happen next year, I believe. I think you're right. I think, and this would be the catalyst that's used. Does he believe that in any way, shape or form, he has been set up? People above him knew what he was going to do and helped him. Does he believe that,
Let me take him down. I'm going to pull him out of December and put him in the now. Right. Do you believe at any time that you were set up? No, he orchestrated this.
Right, but there are a lot of people that there are a lot of entities that are going to benefit from, unfortunately, what he has done. Did he not find it a lot of people can't believe how quick and big he got, sort of thing. Yeah. It's as almost somebody was allowing him to do this because for the bigger picture, they don't care if he launders millions or billions. They want what they want. So in other words, central banks and governments don't want cryptos. And if they do, and what crypto's there, they've got to be regulated. So those things have to happen. They don't want people in cryptos. They want people in their system,
Mm-hmm.
So could he have been, I know this was his idea, he says, but could he have been manipulated or used as a patsy in any way, shape or form? Because at the end of the day, he's the one that's on the run, not them, not anybody else.
Could you have been used as a patsy in any way, shape or form? He could have been. Right. He says, of course he could have been, but he wasn't.
Okay. No.
Very interesting probe.
Okay, well, there are a few other questions, but most of them are moot because basically it's been admitted what he's done, how he's done. The whole thing was set up as a Ponzi. So,
Yeah, very interesting. That's why I love these mind probes, right? You never know. See what goes on the PR machine. And I've said this before, the conscious mind is your PR machine. Okay. You come across as this charitable, humble, wonderful individual fighting for the cause. You're woke, you're giving money to the Democrat Party. And now, because we bypass the conscious mind, we find out he's a master manipulator who manipulated his girlfriend or ex-girlfriend to be the fall girl or the fall guy, right? He had every intention of taking people's money. This was the way to make a lot of money very quickly. And he used people's sheer and utter greed to do so. He says money is just, it makes people so greedy. They want more and more and more. He's like, even the billionaires, they want more. And I'm saying, but yes, you did too. And he says, that's exactly right. It's like a drug. It's an adrenaline. It's a head rush. It becomes your life's work, this pursuit of money. And he said the pursuit of money is very dangerous. It burns a lot of people.
Mm.
And with the crypto, I mean, it's like the wild, wild west of investing. It's not regulated. Like he said, not once was he audited. Not once was anybody questioned him or anything about him. And because he kept giving money to the Democratic Party, charitable organizations, he looked like the good guy, right? He did. He looked like this wonderful good guy masking as this criminal. And that's exactly what master manipulators do. And now this poor little girl who thought she was setting up a charitable organization and she was going to be the world's do-gooder, she's been manipulated too. And now when he's out with wherever he is and he's got this girlfriend with her, he purposely said, just to summarize, I like my girls to be on drugs. So he has power and control and manipulate them. He is a master manipulator. And he's just played everybody. And advertising in the way that he did, it made him look more legitimate, right?
Mm. Yeah.
It's pretty bad. And,
he made donations to these things to make himself look good, obviously. Yeah. I mean,
yeah, but he also still had the intention of being the largest crypto exchange in the world. And he did at some point believe that eventually he would be able to back, the liquidity. But then it just got out of control. It just got beyond a joke. So therefore, he says, I'll never be able to back it. I'm just going to take all the money and just keep taking as much as possible. Because he knew he was done for whatever happened.
Mm. Okay. Well, that's good. Let's drop
him. Yeah.
That's his father. Let's ask him.
Okay. What's going on? He's a wreck. He's got media outside his house. Everybody's in his business. His reputation is ruined. He's a law professor, for crying out loud. Exactly. And he's got the biggest criminal going for a son. This is bad all the way around. This guy has a very big reputation. The mother does as well. They're very upstanding, good people. They don't even know how this has happened. They just thought.
But was he not involved in FTX?
Involved in FTX? Yes, he was.
Oh dear.
But he had no idea what was going on. He doesn't understand all this stuff.
Yeah, but he's a law professor. He understands law, doesn't he?
Yes, but he also understood that this was unregulated.
All right.
And they didn't have to work within any parameters of the law.
Right.
He thought his son was doing well. He's completely shocked and horrified. He did not see this coming.
Okay.
He's disgusted with his son. He doesn't even want to speak with him. He loves him, but he's like, he's just ruined our reputation. We're going to be forced out of a job because of him.
Oh, yeah.
He had a very good upbringing. We did everything we could. And this is what we get. His greed overtook him. He always said he wanted to be a multimillionaire when he grew up.
Well, if he'd have just stayed at a multimillionaire, he'd probably be all right. But he wanted more, didn't he? So the
Right.
greed that he projects on everybody else really is first and foremost with himself.
Yeah.
You know, but instead of doing it, you know, the hard way, or sort of building a proper business, you know, Larry Ellison of Oracle and people like that who build these massive businesses over time and things like that, he thought he'd take a few shortcuts, his son. And of course, what nobody has mentioned here, but I am going to mention it, is, of course, there's going to be lots of people, victims, let's call them victims, who are going to lose a load of money, who thought they had money on the FTX exchange. They thought they had cryptos. They thought they had dollars. They have nothing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So that's who we really should be feeling sorry for, not Mr. Bankman-Fried. Anyway, right. Okay. I think we're done with this one.
Yeah. So I think this really puts it all together. There's so many questions out there. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more questions. If you do have more questions, you need to interact with Mr. Shakespeare on the Discord. I am not looking at the questions, people. Okay. Mr. Shakespeare is. You need to tag him, Mr. Shakespeare, on the Discord. How do you get on the Discord, Liz? Well, you join the Patreon. Patreon.com/remote viewing and beyond. Listen, people, it's like $3.50 a week. If you can't afford $3.50 a week, you have no business being in cryptos. I'm sorry, you just don't, right? And I'm not trying to make fun of anybody. I keep the prices really low so that we can include everybody, as many people as possible. And you also get Monday morning healing, which is what we're about to go into in about an hour. So, I mean, for $3.50 a week, maybe maximum $4 a week, US dollars, you get all these benefits. So thank you very much, Mr. Shakespeare. I really appreciate you doing the research. I mean, you know, you do it out of your own good and in your own time. So we really appreciate that. And we'll stop this one here. Thank you.
Actually, no, don't stop it. I have one.
Don't stop it. Don't stop it. Okay. What are we asking?
Right. Yeah, no, Bankman-Fried, not his father, him.
One for the road. One for the road. Here we go.
Hold on.
And the final question is, drum roll.
Have you got him in the now? Okay. Just one thing. Did he or his colleagues take part intentionally in ruining the Terra, the Luna, you know, Terra Luna or anything like that, Voyagers or anything, you know? Did he actually get involved in ruining those? Because, you know, that was another big problem, isn't it? What happened to Terra Luna? Was he involved in it in any way?
No.
Okay.
No.
That's all right. That's all right.
Okay. Great.
That was a question from the Discord. I didn't think he was, but that was a question. So that was a late question. So, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening.